You know what these icons are based on? I'm drinking my Kroger brand physicist. No. Oh, I grabbed a black cherry. Thought I grabbed a physicist, but I think this is the last of the black cherry soda I had in my fridge. Next time I'll probably have a physicist. Oh, remember that's F-I-Z-Z, physicist. What's that pistol icon based on? It's kind of hard to tell. Looks kind of generic. That's without a doubt an HK MP5K. That could be a Remington 870 compact police model. That's without a doubt an M16, some flavor of M16. This could be an M21 or M25, maybe. And this is an RPG-7. Treacher's Landing. Maybe I'll find a level 25 class mod during this excursion. But first, scrounging and shopping spree. What do I want and what do I need? Hard to believe I'm almost level 28 already. Close but no cigar. If I'm going to spend money on it, it's got to be everything I want. That looks like it's built from similar parts compared to the one I had. And keeping the one I've got. It's the dog dish hubcap looking thing in the middle is why the capacity is better. And still don't have anything stashed, anything worth stashing. By the standards of this style of game, I'm traveling light. All my slots filled, 7 slots filled, and only 3 weapons in reserve. And of course, there's a phone call, not even 5 minutes into this session. Just a moment. I'm back. I hate talking on the phone. I finished my drink, and so now I got myself some coffee. Another drink. I still haven't had breakfast yet. I always pace back and forth when I'm on the phone because I don't want to be on the phone. I have to pretend like I'm interested in...
Hello, Marcos here. I've got an opportunity for you. Come see me at my place in T-Bone Junction.
And...
Hello, traveler. There are new missions available on the T-Bone Junction bounty board.
suffice it to say, I prefer one-on-one communication with people. It's more intuitive.
I'm dancing.
2 poorly parted white dogs in a row. Aquamarine color scheme. Screw that up. Got stuck on the wall.
Just can't carry enough bullets for your favorite gun? Sounds like you need a storage deck upgrade. Supplies limited. Let's get you rolling.
Still feel it's a bit early to check those shops. If I wasn't doing an Allegiance run because it's possible to find level 28 gear here, and I'm 27, then I would. But since I have 7 levels to go yet till the next tier of Dahl gear becomes available at level 34, I'll resist the temptation. On the other hand, that would increase my chances of getting my mitts on adequate level 34 stuff ahead of time, which in turn would give me an incentive to buy a bank upgrade. But then I'd just be coming up with excuses to go shopping. Oh, look, another one of those, an Iridium shotgun. Thunderstorm. Was that 37? Yeah. Oh. I don't know. Why did they design this like this? This is like... If this was a workplace, it would be an OSHA violation waiting to happen. I actually had an adrenaline spike there. I felt it. And all that tingling sensation you get. I mean, it's not like this is a one life chance. I already died once at Mad Mel exactly as predicted. But it's like I always say, I always play the game as if it is a one life chance. Except that if I die, I just keep playing. But the idea is to not die. The idea is also to be prepared for going into fight for your life. And the way you prepare for that is by having the right weapon on hand. So you can score an easy second win. In this game, elemental SMGs tend to be excellent weapons for that. Shotguns are good for that under the right circumstances. The volcano can be good for that, but not as good as the hellfire. Because you can't aim while you fight for your life. You have to shoot from the hip. In Borderlands 2, Meteor SMGs are some of the best weapons for scoring easy second wins. And of course, rocket launchers. Rocket launchers are way better in Borderlands 2. My favorite rocket launchers in Borderlands 2 are Malawan and Bandit. I like a Bandit launcher with a flat-off barrel. It's called a Bombardier, which gets its name from the word bombardier, which is often mispronounced as bombardier. It comes from a French name. It's a French word that comes from a French name, which is why it's pronounced the way it is. Torg. All white. Look at this. Everything is white label, including the special of the day. Hey. So the part on the right side here must pertain to recharge rate, whereas the part in the middle must pertain to capacity. So the part on the left pertains to what? Not going to buy it, despite the excellent recharge rate. Because I don't want to sacrifice that much capacity. Over 100 points of capacity. I'd be willing to sacrifice 50 points of capacity for... Well, you know what? Since Lil can increase the capacity of her shield, and I already have that skill maxed out, let's just see. Usually I only buy something if the base stats are the way I want them to be. And then my character skills can augment those even further, as opposed to buying something with subpar base stats and compensating for them. Well, for that price, why not? Plus, I forgot to sell. $418 up from $321. Look at that. Recharge delay. That is slower than I realized. I'll hold on to the old shield just in case I decide this thing can't take enough hits. That probably won't be necessary.
Do you need something? I'm going to need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.1.
Me and my obsessive need for Contingency plans. Textbook INTJ trait. I will try, to some degree, not to go too crazy with the shopping and such. No. Zombie Island, good place to go Firefly. But it's just as good a place to go mercenary.
During this transitional period, please do not interact with the creatures in any way. Any resemblance to former...
If you go merc with SMG ammo regen, you can tear through endless hordes of zombies with, well, whatever you want. Incendiary, SMG, explodey SMG, double anarchy. The double anarchy unleashes 4 projectiles at the cost of 2 per shot. Same as a double SMG, but a double SMG has much better effective range. So, all in all, I'd say they're about evenly matched. That's overscoped. That looks kind of like mine. Kind of a lot like mine, but with a not as good a scope. Yeah, I can talk, right? Can't I? Oh, yeah, look at that. It's the same, except for the stock and the scope on mine are way better. Or at least better enough.
Don't settle for anything less than the best.
Don't settle for anything less than the best. Absolutely. But keep in mind that the best is not determined by label color, nor is it determined by practical rarity. Best is determined by purposefulness. Like, if you're using a Hellfire against an enemy that's a fire elemental enemy that can resist fire, that's not the right tool for the job, so it's not the best. Not the best for the job, anyway. Let's get a look at that thing.
Zombies trying to tear your face off. Buy a shield, and then buy an insta-health for when the shield inevitably goes down and you really need it.
Well, let's see if I find anything interesting in that red chest. By the way, last night I dreamed I was doing a flat-off Allegiance run as Roland. And I found an explodey go-nuts Surkov.
Look at all this stuff.
Dahl shotgun, see how it compares to the one I've got. It has a barrel 3 compared to the barrel 5 on the one I currently have. I'll favor... With shotguns, I favor superior stats over capacity. Unless it's a 2-shooter. I don't like 2-shooters. Two shooters are the most powerful to compensate for their dinky, messed that up, dinky 2-round cylinder. 2-round cylinder is something that would never exist. A revolving cylinder, no matter what type of firearm it's on, should have a bare, let's see, 2.5 minutes.
Don't go falling in love with me, stranger.
Should have a bare minimum of 3 chambers. Oh, that reminds me. The extended, not extended, the what appears to be a 12-round cylinder. No, it appears to be an 8-round cylinder. I know I've talked about this before. A cylinder with 8 chambers, but it holds 12 rounds. Why? Why not just have it hold 8? 8's better than 6. And the Bulldog holds like 20, despite having 8 chambers. Here's what I think the Bulldog should have been, since it always has that big cylinder, the part that makes it what it is. How about this as an alternative concept for the Bulldog? It has an 8-round cylinder, the Type 2 cylinder. It holds 8, but it always has fast cycling action. Oh, look, another one of those. I'm not going to buy it. It never impresses me. Always has fast reload. Always has a blade attachment. And never has a scope. Always has iron sights.
Get out of here.
Because since a scope is structurally superfluous on a shotgun, it inhibits its functionality, no matter how accurate it is. The only exception would be if you were using something like slugs, which even in real life you still wouldn't.
Combines good damage, high fire rate, and recoil reduction into one lethal weapon.
That's a pretty good launcher. Watch it skip 20 seconds. Call it.
100% more awesome. Also, torque doesn't make the guns a freaking woman.
Oh, 2 exploding BL1 sniper rifles. Never mind that they're green. So I've got one with better parts and one with better material. Cobalt. Barrel 1, sight 2, and some kind of good stock. It's 3 or 4, I think. And this one is barrel 1, sight 1, stock 1. So all basic parts on this one, but a better material type. So material type, just going by this evidence, improves stats. I wouldn't say it's more important than parts, but it improves base stats more so than parts do. But at the same time, parts are more important than label color. That's what we can. That's what we can determine from that.
If he took more than one shot, you're worth using your Jacobs.
At level 15, BL1 shares a level tier with Hyperion. At level 25, they share a level tier with Dahl. and also Pangolin. At level 16, Dahl shares a level tier with Pangolin. Starting at level 24 and ending at level 42, Hyperion occurs on its own level tiers.
Mine, and mine.
Really good BL1 guns found in sequence, all right next to each other practically. So, if I was co-oping, I would certainly drop both of those exploding sniper rifles on the ground. Assume this would not be an allegiance run. If I was playing as Roland or Lil, I'd let the Morty and the Brick player decide for themselves which they wanted. Because an exploding sniper rifle is good for Morty or Brick. And then that incendiary launcher, because it's incendiary, pretty much anyone could get good use out of it. Of course, especially Lil. Brick can get the most use out of a standard exploding launcher.
Hey, you hear when the water's gonna come back on?
Whereas a corroding launcher, well, of course, Brick can get use out of that one. As I said, so can anyone else. And in fact, if you're not playing as Brick, I recommend, if you're going to use launchers, focus on elemental launchers. And I'm not going to pick this place clean because all this stuff is under-leveled. I should check the Tartarus shops and the Jacob's Cove shops, since they changed over. I really want a new class mod before I go to Treacher's Landing. I'm pretty sure I won't find a level 25, maybe I will, a level 25 class mod at Treacher's Landing. It'll probably be level 16. But why?
What do you need, an invitation? Come here.
Let me take a sip of my delicious coffee here. Gourmet. The good stuff. Good enough by my standards, anyway. Good sights on that thing. Doesn't really fulfill any of my needs. If this was a fire revolver, I'd consider buying it because it would pair well with Firefly. So the way shields are built in Borderlands 2, I still haven't memorized all of the manufacturer parts.
I used to be
Just like I haven't memorized all of the numeric type-based parts for shields in this game. I only know what the best ones look like. But in Borderlands 2, I know this much. You generally don't want a pangolin part on a non-pangolin shield. Because it increases capacity at the expense of that shield's effect. So you especially don't want that on a Vladoff shield. Absorb shield. So why was I dreaming last night about doing a Vladoff Allegiance run as Roland? Well, because that's one of the other Allegiance runs I was considering doing, probably. My least used brand paired with my most used character. I don't refer to myself as a Roland player. It just happens that Roland was my first character and is the character I have the most hours clocked on. Morty is still my fave because it's just so much fun to play him as a swashbuckling gunslinger. See? I knew I'd find something worthwhile eventually.
Shields and healing, that's what I'm dealing.
I would say SNS. SNS also makes the Gunslinger class mod. In my opinion, SNS is a better manufacturer for Morty than Vladoff. Because they also make the Ranger class mod. I forget what the other... oh yeah, Vladoff for Morty also makes the Hunter class mod. But in my opinion, Ranger is more fun. So if you were doing an SNS Allegiance run as Morty, you could have a whole lot of fun with that. You could go Gunslinger, you could go Ranger. If you go Ranger Morty, I know I've talked about this before, but it's worth reiterating. Then you should focus on, and specifically an SNS Ranger Morty. Then you should focus on Angry Death shotguns, no, Spiked Death shotguns, and Liquid Explodey sniper rifles. Because those weapons would benefit the most from a 5-line purple perfect Ranger class mod. I severely suggest you just feel like being athletic for no reason. Don't waste your energy doing stuff like that when you don't need to. You silly head, cheese head. What am I saying? You don't have a head anymore. Shotgun Morty, try him out. Doesn't have to be with Ranger class mod, it's just that's the best way to do it. And shotguns with the word death in their name, even though it doesn't say so on... Why'd I fire a second shotgun? Even though it doesn't say it on their title card, it should. They have crit bonus. And that's why they benefit from the Ranger class mod. Now, if you go Tediore Morty, Tediore makes combat shotguns, not assault shotguns, which means they don't make any death shotgun, which means their shotguns with good parts can be good, but won't benefit from the Ranger class mod. Tediore makes a Ranger class mod. So, oh, and Tediore doesn't make sniper rifles. So what? Why is that 13 and not 22? So what Tediore weapons would pair with Tediore Ranger Morty? Revolvers and combat rifles with the intense prefix. Best revolver for Ranger would be, of course, a masher. There's a 22. Explodey doesn't really serve any of my purposes, my needs. Why such a skimpy 16-round mag? Should be a bare minimum of an 18. Even that would be considered skimpy for a machine pistol. I'm wondering what all sorts of changes. Why don't I just do this? Yeah. Remember, Lil is the character I have the least experience with, which is precisely why I chose her for this playthrough. Well, no, that's a secondary reason. The primary reason is because I knew her skills, aside from being excellent for SMGs and elemental weapons. And, of course, elemental SMGs. I knew her skills would work supremely well with the Stomper, which is one of my favorite weapons, and is tragically overlooked by most players. Haha, denied. This shotgun, though. Oh, I knew I messed that up. Finish him. Swatted. Yes, I know. I'm playing as the SMG character. I should be using SMGs more often. A white 16? Don't insult me. Wait till I have... What all does this have on it? Wait till I have a level appropriate 5-line perp merc com with the works, so to speak. Well, 5-line would be the works. But, I mean, you know, of course, it's got to be ammo region. This shotgun and this master pair well with each other. They'd pair even better with each other if they had better cylinder types. If this had a Type 4 and the revolver had literally anything else. It has these both have the most basic cylinder types. I mean, not that I'm complaining. They're perfectly serviceable. I'm just saying. If this was playthrough 2 or 2.5, you would want better cylinder types for more power. It's like I often say, if you're going to use both a shotgun and a master, if you're going to pair them up, you want one to be, I mean, in order for them to complement each other, not complement, but complement each other. Yes, those are two different words with two different spellings. You want one to be a bit more accurate and the other one to be a bit more powerful. Otherwise, you'll be asking yourself, well, aren't these kind of redundant? Why am I using them both? Also, shotguns can have blade attachments, whereas mashers can't, because the accessory that makes a revolver a masher counts as it is an accessory. And in this game, guns can only have one accessory, with the exception of, well, in the core game, without mods or any such thing like that, the one and only
Get your hands here.
the one and only gun
Stand right up. This price is available.
that has two accessories is the clipper. Vladov seems to have made some experimental weapons,
On the planet.
or some of the weapons available made by Vlad, or like from a different era or something, like Roland's starter machine gun. And Brick's starter shotgun, which are both built from parts that guns of their respective types are typically not built from. I know I've talked about this in past episodes, but it's worth reiterating. 16, called it. Why?
Time to play! Time to...
Aw, did that hurt?
You never should have come here, now you're gonna pay!
Sweepers, not my style. In fact, the exact opposite of my style. I like accurate shotguns. Shotguns that throw nice, tight patterns. And they don't necessarily have to have Type 5 barrels.
Get away!
Finish him! Oh, I just remembered. I've been watching some old Baru adventures from like 5 years ago. When he and Goth were doing that kawaii punchy adventure as Brick. That's what Baru named that particular brick. Funny that that red barrel didn't detonate those blue ones. See, why am I finding level 16 garbage guns this far into the game? Don't insult me. Something I hope they fix in Remastered. See if I can detonate that tank with one shot at this range with this. Good enough. It's because not all 7 pellets, no, 9. Proper number there, 9. Not all 9 pellets hit it. This shotgun actually has... Oops, didn't mean to do that. I didn't fire a shot though, so it's not like I'm disqualified. Disqualified. Well, I've equipped shields before that were off-brand.
In a world of no guarantees, you can always count.
Skip the last 20 seconds, and there we go.
Going up against a better-armed opponent, you need.
I've never understood why it does that. get a look at the parts on that pounder. All Type 1 parts. That's not what you want on a... Well, that's never what you want anyway, but especially on a pounder. Well, now that's interesting. 3 Dahl mercenary class mods right next to each other. What's the probability on that? Now, if they were all built from the same parts, I mean, we're talking astronomical odds. Oh, before I proceed, I should do a little something here. Just like in Crazy Earl's scrapyard area. It's actually the area around his scrapyard. Like the area around Jupiter in Stalker Call of Pripyat, which I used to call... Yeah, I'm getting off topic here. I used to refer to that whole area as Yanov. Yeah, Yanov. When really Yanov is just the name of the station. Bunch of meh. Now, if you want passive health regen for the entire team on a Team Allegiance run, Malawan Roland is not the way to go. Malawan Morty is a better choice for that. Because Malawan Roland I mean, it works, but it's not as much fun. Malawan doesn't make machine guns or combat rifles. And truth be told, I just don't have much fun with their shotguns. I don't like elemental shotguns. And Malawan doesn't make any class mods for brick, so you can't really do Malawan brick. Though if you could, Malawan would be a great brand for brick. Because you could have an Explodey Go Nuts revolver, an Explodey Go Nuts sniper rifle, spaz, and level 16, why? Don't insult me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and acid and fire launchers. If you need to break shields, you could use an electric revolver. So you have all your bases covered for brick except class mods with Malawan. And no blade attachments. So those are the upsides and the downsides. But if you were to simply build a Bombardier brick that's not brand specific, who makes Bombardier for brick? Dahl and Treacher, 2 companies that don't make portable rocket launchers. Remember, Treacher does make mounted rocket launchers in Borderlands 1. The machine guns and rocket launchers mounted on vehicles are made by Treacher. I know I've mentioned that in past episodes, but it's worth reiterating. Level 19, that should be the bare minimum. The bare minimum level of stuff I encounter here. Because I'm right at the level that most people would be in this area if they do side quests. Doomstick. 15. Why 15? Why not 25 for Malawan? See how much spread this has. Because you might want more spread with one of your multi-projectile weapons. That goes back to the principle I was discussing earlier. You'll want a tight spread with one, a looser spread with the other. Just like it's common practice with a double-barrel shotgun to have a tighter choke in one barrel and a looser choke in the other. So you want your first shot to be tight and your second shot to be loose. If they're not the same, of course you can always have them the same. That did precisely jack squat. So most double-barrel shotguns, to my knowledge anyway, if it's a side-by-side, since the front trigger on a standard side-by-side fires the right and the back trigger fires the left, the right barrel has a tighter choke. If I recall, I think one is improved cylinder and the other is modified choke. Improved cylinder choke, modified choke. If it's an over-under, they typically fire top, then bottom. So you have the top with tighter choke, and the bottom one with a looser choke. Side by side, you have the right side tighter choke, left side looser choke. It's not written in stone that it has to be that way. That's just the way most of them are. If you're gonna blow some money on a sporter style skeet gun, you might as well get one the way you want it, which is why most are willing to fork over the moolah for one that has interchangeable choke tubes. Most sports persons, I should say. Oh, I have the wrong element for dealing with that guy, but I distracted him. Another illustration of how well these work together. Shotgun and masher. Well, that was quick. The boat can leave now. Tell the crew. That reference loses its meaning when I'm anywhere other than Zombie Island. In this area, I should be making Goonies references. I'll take it for the 4-figure resale value. Should I do the Tannis fish Easter egg, which I still don't know what it's a reference to, or should I save that for later? I'm thinking I might save it for later, because there are other missions to do here. Took one shot more than good on than I expected it would. 16. Why are you bringing me in all this crap for? That was a reference to Sidorovich from Stalker. Cheeky breaky. Keep it cheeky breaky. Well, where did he go? I keep picking up things I don't need just because I don't want to leave them there. S&S grenades are best. I mean, if you're not doing an allegiance run, or if you're doing an S&S allegiance run, then you'll have an easier time. Since you need grenades to do those things. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn this mission in. I'll do the Easter egg sometime later when I come back here to do all this, the other stuff there is to do here. Four-figure discount. I mean, no, not. I'm thinking 5-figure discount. 4-figure resale. Pocket change. So, maybe I should start ignoring anything with less than 5-figure resale value.
If you need healing, step right up. Whether you are killing bad guys or exploring the unknown, you need a trusty gun by your side.
I have a feeling Crom's Canyon is going to be fun.
I sort of lied to you. That alien vault crap a map you looking for? Tom stole it. He stabbed me twice.
Although I don't appreciate being lied to.
You can always count on
I get that. I understand. But you don't need to lie to me, man. I'm like the easiest person in the world to get along with. Finishing off my coffee there. So where did he stab you that you were able to survive it? That took more. I was expecting one shot, one kill on that. How are you surviving that much? You know what I should be doing? Acid and fire. I should put that there. And I should get more. I don't know why, but I feel like I should put my SMG in slot 2. And then put shotguns or sniper rifles in slot 4. Acid and fire. That was just the raw damage that destroyed that thing. This barely even ignites. Barrel 1, body 3. Oh no! It has that reload. Oh yeah, it's a spitter. See, if I had known that it was that style of reload, I might not have bought this. There's nothing on the title card that indicates that. See if I can score this shot with barrel 1. Yeah, it took 2. I can live with that. Level 19, flat off.
What you want? What you want?
Hello! Crazy Earl has more jobs he'd like that chunk vault hunter to do.
See you later.
Crom's Canyon. You gain access to Crom's Canyon by going through Rust Commons East. I forgot to point this out again. How that skag pile appear. It seems to appear out of nowhere after you pass a threshold. I don't need to point that out every single time.
Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles? Even the best gunman gets hit from time to time, so make sure your shield is up to par.
I do want a better Merc class mod before I go to Crom's Canyon.
Jacob scans do one thing really well. Power. And honestly, what else do you need? Buy a first aid kit and you won't regret it.
Firefly will do fine too. And will we skip the last 20 seconds? Of course.
Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles? 400% more awesome! Also, torque doesn't make the guns out of freaking wood. In a world of no guarantees, you can always count on Marcus guns.
Also interested in elemental bouncing betties, especially fire.
Dahl's guns absorb a lot of recoil, allowing you to stay accurate throughout the fight.
A high accuracy acid revolver with a good barrel. Barrel 3, 4, or 5 will just melt Crom from way far away, from like downtown, to use a basketball term. I'm not into basketball, but I am a Hoosier. Isn't that an abomination? How can I be a Hoosier and not be a basketball fan? Who cares? Basketball was invented by a Freemason
Over
anyway.
here! I need your help with something.
Football, basketball, and baseball were all invented by Freemasons.
If you're on a budget, TDR is always the way to go. Encountering those beasties out there, get your hands here, you one from the rest.
Well, there's another one that's close but no cigar. It's a Model 560.
What do you need, an invitation? Come here.
I'll stick with this configuration for now.
During this transitional period, please do not interact with the creatures in any way. Any resemblance to formerly living
Transitional
coincidental.
from what?
To the contrary will be met with
From what to what? Transitional period. That's not exactly how I would phrase the situation going on here.
contact of any kind.
Hey, I pooped right where you're standing.
Wanna shoot a lot of bullets really fast? Vladov has your needs covered.
Not as good as what I've got. looks fancy, that Atlas revolver, but doesn't serve any of my purposes.
Do me a favor. Would you buy first aid so that I won't have to fix you up later?
Best part on the left side. How much? I'm not paying 6 figures for anything less than a 5-line purple. It doesn't have to have perfect parts, it just has to be a 5-line perp. It doesn't have to be a model 660.
Here's a free tip, soon-to-be zombie-paced man. You can't kill already.
Lil's not a man. I might consider a 5-line mercenary class mod with... What's the other effect it can have besides SMG ammo regen? I think it's elemental effect. SMG elemental effect. I could work with that. Elemental Dahl SMGs don't have the best proc rate. Oh, this becomes available now. This would be good for Zombie Island.
Assuming you're strong enough to hold one.
Hello! There are new missions available at the New Haven Bounty Board.
Buy an Atlas, and you too can see what it feels like.
This would be awesome for Morty.
Helena Pierce has more jobs for you in New Haven.
Well, I didn't realize... See, I thought this became available after Crom's Canyon. Probably because I've never come here before doing Crom
I
before.
hope you're avoiding the negative element.
I didn't
around
phrase
here.
that right, did I? Well, I guess this makes sense to do this before Crom.
That's all for the time being.
I went to middle of nowhere ahead of time because I wanted... Well, because it's a good place to shop, that's why. Wait, what am I thinking? Of course it's a good idea to come here before Crom. Because the whole Reaver thing. Why drive when you can face one? Under-leveled stuff, I'm guessing.
Doctor, when you get my machines and their scary needles.
Isn't this is exactly what I described just a moment ago. 5-line purple, it's a 16, so I'm not going to buy it anyway.
Always something new. Visit all our convenient locations.
Turtles all the way down. I don't remember if I've ever talked about that before. But Isn't that a reference to the Stephen King mythos? Don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure. That's why I'm genuinely asking. I don't know. And for on Secret Armory, you'll see graffiti on the, or maybe it's not graffiti. Maybe it's an advertisement. I forget which, but it mentions Rack Hive rides. Well, I think it's an advertisement for for Rack Hive rides, and then there's graffiti on it, or maybe it's part of the ad. I don't remember. Part of the billboard, but it says, how does it phrase it? Something about tortoises. So you've got references to turtles and tortoises. Was I just here? I don't remember. Me and my tangential thinking. That's most likely a right brain trait. Yeah, I was here. Because I remember that revolver with a desert revolver with a chintzy Type 1 barrel. I was just at Jacob's Cove. Oh yeah, now I remember. My mind brain is getting back on track now. Still don't have a good level 25 sniper rifle, probably because I want one that has specific features.
Hi there.
Do you think this guy Johns was named after the character from Pitch Black? The first Riddick movie? Don't need a scope on a double anarchy. Oh, that right there. A perfect brick-style revolver. No one ever thinks to use revolvers as brick, except as backup weapons. Exploding revolver is perfect for a Blastmaster brick. Doesn't really matter who makes it.
Let's get some wheels.
I hate burst fire launchers. Will this be a Dahl masher, and will it be better than the one I've got? No. It's a Teddy. Still, let's see how it compares. It's a 22 compared to my 25. Looks like it's built from the same parts. Yeah. A TDR masher with barrel 2 throws the loosest patterns of any and all mashers. 69.8 accuracy. But maybe that's what you want. By shotgun standards, that accuracy is good enough. Exceptional, actually, assuming that mashers and shotguns are rated on the same scale, which I would hope they are. Well, I mean, why not have a universal scale for measuring any form of accuracy? Whether you're dealing with a single projectile weapon or a multi-projectile weapon, it only makes sense to have a universal system of measurement. Well, I don't know about that. You could have one system of measurement for single projectile weapons and another one for multi-projectile weapons. I might save Crom's Canyon for the next episode. I don't know for sure. This episode I might focus on all the stuff there is to do here in Rust Commons East. Another underleveled class mod. First, before I scrounge up those fuses, how did I screw that up? This is why it's a good idea for every character to have either a shotgun or a masher. Even if it's not a weapon type that's associated with your character. I messed that one up. Aimed too far off to the side. Well, is that a gamble? Called it. See, I didn't know for sure that it was a gamble, but I knew there was a high probability that it was, judging by the manufacturer and the barrel type. A Vladoff with barrel 2. Me and my eidetic memory. It's one reason why people tell me I'm like a nice version of Sheldon Cooper. I can live with that. They tell me I look like Leonard, kinda. But I have most of my other traits are Sheldon-like, or somewhat similar to Sheldon. And I'm cool with that. A bunch of cheaply parted combat rifles there. That was a long second. Did you notice that? 148.
That's where the cars live. Get you one.
I know a lot of people say The Big Bang Theory is lame, mostly because it's sort of hypocritical in its outlook regarding nerd/geek culture. How it sort of ridicules the very culture it's trying to champion. Well, maybe they're not really trying to champion that culture. Well, is that really a whole lot different from Frasier? Because in Frasier, I guess you could say Martin Crane is sort of like equivalent to Penny in some ways. And he was always portrayed as the more relatable one. What am I? There's nothing. No comment. Something they need to fix in Borderlands Remastered. Clipping issues. Why is it called clipping anyway? Frivolous tactical reload. Not so frivolous when it's a 6-shooter. What? Why do I keep missing? How can I miss at that range with a match? Insert Wally music. Oh. I actually didn't look at the stats on that Torg machine gun. Why am I even interested in that if I'm not doing the Torg Allegiance? Well, see, I should train myself to de-aim or un-aim when I'm that close. So I didn't look at the stats of that Torg machine gun, so I'm going to try to guess the stats by looking at the parts. Barrel 3, so it'll have good enough accuracy. Stock 2, so the recoil might be kind of noticeable. Barrel 4, so it's going to have a slow fire rate. I wonder if it'll be below 5.7. I think 5.7 is what you get with the green label Torg machine gun if it has body 2. And it's topped off with a dot sight, which on a machine gun, I think that's still referred to as sight 2, even if it's on a machine gun. The machine gun doesn't really need it. Iron sights are perfectly serviceable on a machine gun. So let's see if the fire rate is below 5.7 and 5.2. Yeah. So better to have a body 2 on a Torg machine gun than it is to have a body 4. And that's also true for an S&S machine gun. You really have to pick this whole place apart to get all the fuses. What am I missing here? It looks like I picked the whole place apart already. Ah, there it is. So for some reason my eyes scanned right over right over that. And I didn't see it. By the way, I'm thinking the best loadout for a Dahl Lil is you want elemental revolvers rather than elemental SMGs.
Hi there.
Unless you're 28. Only 5? That's no problem. Getting better all the time. So, heavy hitter type SMGs and elemental revolvers. Unless you're using a class mod that improves proc rate with SMGs. Or maybe combine that with skills that do the same thing. Why not ask me to kill 50 spider ants? Why only 5? Give me some big ones. For whatever reason, you can always seem to find under-leveled class mods in this particular nook. On Playthru 1. Now, on Playthru 2, they're usually closer to being level appropriate. And of course, Playthru 2.5 even more so.
Hi there.
Buggers. Hammerlock wasn't the first to pull that joke. It's Helena, not Helena. I don't understand why some people say Helena. That name is pronounced Helena.
Hello! There are new missions available at the middle of nowhere bounty board.
That's as accurate as you are.
That's overscoped. Doesn't really fulfill any of my needs either. Barrel 2, Sight 4.
Buy a first aid kit and you won't regret it. Remember, you can always count on Marcos with the best guns around.
Keep rolling. I sure got you right now.
I'll go back to Helena Pierce before I start doing all this stuff.
If you're on a budget, TDR is always the way to go.
Skimpy Mag. Nothing that serves any of my needs. Hudson Johns. Is that how I came up with the name Judson Joyce? No. There is a story behind that. Judson is a family name, and Joyce is a reference to a running gag between myself and maybe 2 other people that dates back to when we were in middle school in the early 90s. Back when I had a mullet, at a time when it was socially acceptable. Hashtag mullet shaming. Still wondering what my next class mod will be. Will it be Mercenary or Firefly?
Yes? Did you need something? That's all for the time being.
Hudson Johns kind of sounds like a reverse name. Because he has a last name. Yeah, look at that. In place of a first name and a first name in place of a last name. Despite the better material type, I can already tell the stats on this are not going to be as good as the one I've got. But isn't it... Yes, he called it. Isn't it interesting that I've now come across 2 Dahl legendaries in the same shop? That's where I... or was the Wildcat in that one shop at Middle of Nowhere?
Missing lately. Makes you wonder.
You know what I mean, though. At any rate, I've come across 2 Dahl legendaries, level 25, on the same excursion. From this point on, I'll probably be encountering legendaries and vending machines on a regular and or semi-regular basis. Best part on the left side. Still not going to bother scrounging all the under-leveled stuff here. I could go ahead and do Crom's Canyon. Or I could do Rust Commons East. What do I feel like doing? I think I'll save this for later. I need to make a decision. This one. But before I do that, I'll go shopping because I really want a level 25 class mod that's to my liking.
Hyperion asks, what good is a gun that doesn't shoot where you point? Get a gun that's as accurate as you are. Whether you are killing bad guys or exploring the unknown, easy to trust a gun by your side. Right up.
If you're doing Team Allegiance, at least one player should choose a brand that you have access to right from the start. Other than Jacobs. So that means Dahl or Vladov. So at least one character, whichever character they're playing, should choose Dahl or Vladov as their brand. I mean, it's not absolutely necessary, since when you have a team of 4, you have your buddies to fall back on. I'm just thinking of ways people can do a Team Allegiance without getting frustrated early on. Yeah, the one I've got is this. The stats, a couple of stats might be better. Well, but that's structurally superfluous scope. It's a purple, of course, so that's why. I don't want a scope on a master though. Just like that time there was a purple cobra, an almost perfectly parted purple cobra in this very same machine, and it had no stock. Just completely ruined the whole thing. There's that best part with the prongs. You need a stock on a rifle. You don't need a scope on a masher, for the same reason you don't need a scope on a shotgun. Now, if I was doing team allegiance and I scrounged up something like that for my brand, I'd go ahead and use it. But I wouldn't spend money on it. I don't buy things if they're not exactly what I want. I try to keep my wants and or needs broadly defined enough that I'm not too, well, I wouldn't use the word miserly. That's not the right word. Persnickety, that's the word I'm looking for. Like, for example, if I'm in the market for a combat rifle, I want it to have body 3 or better, sight 2 or better, and an 18-round mag. Base capacity. If those requirements are fulfilled, then it can get away, if it's a Dahl, it can get away with, or if it's a Hyperion for that matter, it can have even the most basic barrel type. If it's a TDOR, I'll accept barrel 1. I mean, if I'm doing a TDOR Allegiance run, I could force myself to accept it anyway.
Dahl makes guns for professional mercs. They're heavy, accurate, and effective, assuming you're strong.
Will I make it down there in time? Nope. See, it skips the last 20 seconds. Even when I don't want it to. Don't like electric launchers. Fire and acid, I do like. If I want to break someone's shield, it's like I always say, my go-to weapon for that purpose is a revolver. Aquamarine color scheme. Always cool looking.
Aim for the head! That's where the pudding is!
Gross. Brained pudding. I actually have a jello mold in the shape of a brain. And I maxed out on my 2 favorite flavors of ammo. Shotgun shells and revolver rounds. Under Doom. Just out of curiosity. Oh. Barrel 3, body 5. Stock 1, sight 1, 12-round mag. Now, the sight and the mag completely ruin it. So I'm not going to... I'm sticking with what I've got until I've got something... that meets all of my requirements. Hyperion. A good brand for allegiance-wise, I mean. A good brand for anyone other than Roland, because they don't make a class mod for rolling. Otherwise, they'd be a good brand for everyone. But no brand makes 4 classes of class mods.
Over here! I need your help with something.
Back to the topic of team allegiance. If your rolling player goes Vladov, then your brick player could go Torg. That would be the obvious choice. If you want to be a bit more avant-garde, your brick player could go Hyperion, another Stomper. Barrel 1, Body 4, Sight 1, and the stock is, well, it's a good one. It's not a, it's a, yeah.
That's a real doctor when you got my machines and they're scary needles.
So your rolling player goes flat off, and then your brick player could go Torg, Hyperion, Atlas, etc.
Do these teeth make my gums look better?
Pretty sure SNS doesn't make a class mod for brick. TDOR makes several, but TDOR overall is not a good brand for brick. Not for an Allegiance run. Skip over Jacobs since I was already there at the Cove, and go right back to New Haven. Only checking the weapons shop this time. If your brick player goes flat off, then your rolling player should go SNS. I'm glad this garage door is staying open.
Only one gun shoot more lightning than the next leading competitor. If he took more than one shot, you weren't using a Jacobs.
For an Allegiance team, you generally want your rolling player to focus on the use of a support gunner class mod, which is made by SNS and Vladov, which is why those are the 2 best brands for rolling. SNS also makes a commando class mod for rolling, and Vladov also makes a rifleman class mod for rolling. Interestingly, the rifleman class mod for rolling is made by Torg and Vladov, 2 companies that don't make combat rifles. Instead, they make machine guns. It drives me up a wall when people use those terms interchangeably.
Don't know who to trust? You
when talking about Borderlands 1. They'll use the term Vladoff combat rifle. Sometimes they'll even say Vladoff assault rifle. The term assault rifle is not used in Borderlands 1 nomenclature. And even the big name, famous Borderlands YouTubers, or YouTubers who are best known for their Borderlands gameplay, will make this faux pas. And it drives me up a wall. Give me the cash. If that was a non-elemental, that death shotgun right there. It would be excellent. Shotguns called Death have well, that concludes my shopping run. For now. Shotguns called Death have a certain accuracy to them. And although it doesn't say it on the title card, they also have crit bonus. Got a 22. I don't need a 22 caliber revolver. I know that's not what it is.
Aw, did that hurt?
TDR revolvers can be just fine with the right parts. TDR guns can contend with Dahl or Hyperion. If they have good parts, good material types, etc. I wish this shotgun had a blade on it.
I'm really good at this.
For a brick player for Team Allegiance,
Feel it.
you're probably going to have a lot of fun with a bladed shotgun, so it's a good idea to choose a brand that makes those. Every manufacturer makes shotguns in this game, and only Malawant shotguns never have blades. Since they're always elemental, they always have that accessory, an elemental accessory. And remember, the Vladoff Clipper is the one and only gun in the unmodded core game that has two accessories. Fire and a blade.
Blast him! Shoot him!
I just felt like doing that. Thumper machine reminds me of Half-Life 2. It could even be maybe serving the same purpose. Except it serves that purpose against spider ants instead of ant lions. Spider ant lions. What's that blue there? It's hard to tell. Will it have a good resale value? Good enough. I would not have guessed that to be a Torg. It had kind of a light gray color to it. I was expecting it to be a level 22 TDR shield. And she jumped out the direction I wanted her to. Some kind of Lovecraftian religion. That's why it's called that old-time religion. It's a reference to the old ones, I think. Meat puppets. I love jumping over enemies' heads and stabbing them in the head with a shotgun spike. Another reason why I really want a spiked shotgun. So why is a spiked death such a great shotgun for Morty? Well, because it does two things that pertain to his skills. Especially if you're going SNS Ranger Morty.
Kill them all!
Day 684. I seem to be unable to leave camp anymore. I've collected all of the information I need to be able to find the vault, but I'm overcome with terror and instantaneous paralyzation upon any attempt to leave my confines. I believe I have some kind of psychosis. Whatever it is, I'm a prisoner of my own jail, and I will not be able to find anything without help from an outside party. I will put out feelers to see if I can get someone on this rock to grant me assistance. Perhaps I can send an off-world message to attract some vault hunters. Some company would be lovely.
So are we... Oh! See, that's why that's not such a good idea. So we're basically running through Tanis's rat maze. Vaguely similar to what Alphys does to you in Undertale. In other words, they're both just trying to play the role of Dungeon Master. I'm cool with that. Even though I'm not even into D&D. I'm not into D&D. I prefer video games over tabletop RPGs. It's not that I lack imagination. Certainly not. It's just that along with exercising my imagination, I also like visual stimulation and music and sound effects and whatnot, hence video games and 80s B movies, stuff like that. Doesn't have to be 80s B movies. It's just that's a fandom I'm known for. TDR, why do you even bother manufacturing rocket launchers if you can't do it right? Nobody likes your launchers in Borderlands 2 either. You see how water screws everything up? I had to run over that scythe multiple times to squash it, just because it was in water. Something else they need to fix in Borderlands Remastered. Don't know why the level is so... why that's 26 while the rest of these are 24. Of course. Always good at making me miss. Really? Just so the masher doesn't feel left out. Don't make me shoot my own car.
Day 616. Sometimes I wish I had never been given this assignment and never come to Pandora. Dahl has asked me to leave. The transmission said it's time to go. Everyone has left, except the criminals who they've let loose. They won't be my friends. So I had decided to return to leave as Dahl has ordered, but then I found something. I think it is the key to the vault. It proves the vault is real, and that it's here on Pandora and that it can be mine. I also learned that, by my calculations, we are near the 200th anniversary of the last vault opening. Within half a year, approximately. If I leave now, I will never make it back in time. I will stay. Maybe one of the convicts will be my friend.
I've never noticed this before, but that looks like something that's not supposed to be there. And this looks like a giant portobello mushroom cap. And that makes me hungry. Those are really good when they're sauteed. Taste almost like steak. And they pair excellently with steak. Any cut, however you like it. Medium rare sirloin, for example. Another under-leveled reward. And of course, it defaults me back to the campaign. Oh,
allowing you to stay accurate throughout the fight.
there's a good pair of Malawans right there. Pair this up with this. Never mind that this is a green. It has a good barrel. Chintzy body type, body 1. Barrel is good. It's a barrel 3, which like the barrel 1 has flat sights with no groove for the rear sight.
Step right up.
You can force yourself to get accustomed to that. I'd hazard an educated guess that no one's going to think to fix that for Borderlands Remastered, because most people are not going to recognize that as an issue that needs to be fixed, and I find that irritating. So this has the lowest accuracy barrel and the worst stock. Barrel 2, stock 1. It's a 3-shooter, which means boosted base damage, which, you know, take it or leave it on a volcano. And it's topped off with my favorite scope, Sight 3. I'll check this shop. I'll resist the temptation to go on a shopping spree when I'm in the middle of this retrieval mission. What was I saying before about, oh, look at that Atlas? Well, I was saying before, I'm not into D&D, but I do like the alignment chart, just because it sort of corresponds with the Nolan chart, or you can cross-reference it with the Nolan chart, and if you don't know what the Nolan chart is, just look it up. N-O-L-A-N, Nolan. Another blast sniper, but I'm pretty sure no one would choose this over a volcano. What was the price on that volcano? I don't remember, but I'm guessing it was reasonable. This has barrel 1. I think that's stock 5, and it has sight 5. But the accuracy is good enough to be worthy of that scope because it's Atlas. This is worth its price. 200% crit bonus. Only held back by its barrel, but not held back all that much. I would trade 2 scope types down for 2 barrel types up. No, I would trade 4 scope types down for 2 barrel types up. So it would have barrel 3 and scope 2. See if I can pick this mission up with this guy at this point. Giant flowers remind me of Subterranea.
Hi there.
Can't pick up that mission yet. Red handprint on his kerchief. I wonder if that's a reference to the song Red Right Hand.
Day 578.
By Nick Cave and the Caveman.
3 days. I just ate 6 bugs in alphabetical order, starting with Carabus auronitans and ending with a dessert of Tetrix untulata. The information I've uncovered from my automated deciphering has me closing in on the location of this event. An event I believe to be the opening of the vault. Echo Recorder and I are not together anymore, but I wish him the best, and we remain friends, so that I can keep recording these messages. He agreed, because we need to complete what we set out to do, and document the intensive search for the mythic vault. It's not a myth. It is real.
Textbook INTJ trait, a tendency to anthropomorphize inanimate objects. Oh, look at that, a matching pair of S&S guns. They're not all that great. Still basically a matching pair. Not a perfectly matching pair. I could have blown up that same tank with a single blast from either a shotgun or a masher. Why do you even bother, TDR? Inaccurate machine guns, weak rocket launchers. I mean, shucks. Anything worth doing is worth doing with passion and at 100% maximum power.
Today is my birthday. I've been alone for an incalculable amount of time. A convict accidentally crossed over into my encampment this morning, and I allowed him to look about before I shot him in the back several times. I was immediately filled with regret upon doing this, because the human contact, no matter how awkward, would have been nice. I've decided his name was Leslie, and he had a troubled childhood where people would make fun of him for having a girl's name. And the torment eventually led Leslie to a life of crime and debauchery. There was a tattoo on his bum that looked not unlike the name Patricia. I might have imagined the tattoo. The experience compelled me to move the vault key fragment I found so that it can be safe. It's extremely important, so I've given it to the man known as Crazy Earl. He's not crazy. He doesn't like people. The vault key will be safe with him. I also gave him my underwear.
Something else she has in common with Alphys is her tendency to go into Genki mode. Which they both need to do more often. Speaking from experience here. Genki mode is that state you don't have to be an INTJ to experience this. That state you go into when your thoughts are racing and you're just... The inspiration is surging in your mind brain, in your soul. Whatever that inspiration is directed toward, it becomes an insatiable quest.
Day 718. I woke up outside the camp today. I don't know how I got outside, but I seem to have overcome my inability to leave. This will be my last recording before I scatter the echo recordings as far as I can. My echo recorder has clearly gone crazy, and if I'm not careful, I too might go insane. I will come back and resume my research when I have rid myself of this two-timing recorder. This is Patricia Tanis, signing out.
Possible alien reference there. Crom again on my list. Switch back to, because that's the primary story mission. Do this while I'm here. Then I might call it for this episode and go get some grub. I did that for no reason. There's that red hand again. Is that a red left hand or a red right hand? Depends on how you look at it. Because if you look at it as a handprint or if you look at it as a handprint, then it's a red left hand. But if you look at it as the print of a hand, no, that would be the print of a hand, left hand. If you look at it as a hand reaching for you, then it would appear to be a red right hand, just like the song, Red Right Hand. Good song, by the way. Assault shotgun stock and forearm. Will I find a level appropriate class mod that I'm looking for? Of course not.
Want to make a bigger pool? Buy a better mod. I got all
Jump.
kinds.
So it's appropriate that it was in a dumpster.
Customize your grenades with a new mod today.
What barrel type is that pattern after? I think that's a barrel 5. Yeah, it looks just like the one I've got. I don't know shotgun bodies. But that looks like the body for a combat shotgun. It looks like a frame that's hollowed out for a cylinder rather than having a magazine well for a box mag. And the other one, I caught a glimpse of some green up here. Kind of looks like a 3-shot cylinder. That should be the bare minimum for a revolver type shotgun. 3, not 2.
You get red.
Or any revolver. Same for revolvers. That's how it is for revolving sniper rifles. So why not make that universal, since it would be logical?
Dahl makes guns for professional works. They're heavy, accurate, and effective. Assuming you're strong enough to hold one.
All right. I'll go in order of difficulty. So Crom's Canyon will be next, and then this, Circle of Slaughter. So I'll round out this session with a shopping spree, as per typical.
And incredibly fast reload speed. Keep your base at less guided yours firepower. Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles?
I really want that SMG ammo. Well, I don't know. I don't really need SMG ammo regen. I mean, this is going to improve the effectiveness of all SMGs with this, and elemental SMGs on top of that with this. So I might as well. Yeah, why not? Finally retiring my last piece of level 16 gear. 3 minutes in the shop, so I go to Tartarus. After this, I hightail it over to Jacob's Cove. While there, the shop should change over, which means I should use phase walk as much as possible to Vamoose.
Over here!
Another ledge in another shop.
Want to make a bigger move? I am there, man. You got my machines in there scaring needles.
That wasn't a thumper, was it? I saw the desert camo finish and the 55-round mag, and I thought, yeah, that should pair well with my desert shotgun.
Greetings. I'm going to need a nuclear reactor.
Greetings, as they say at Black Mesa. Jacob's Cove. See, I should have done phase walk right there. I just didn't think about it till it was too late. Did I mention Lil is my least used character? Yes, I did. Several times. Quit repeating yourself, Judd. Oh. Overshot that by a week and a half. Spaceballs reference. What? Whoa. Will I be able to get down? Probably not, because it's going to skip the last 40 seconds. I mean 20 seconds. I have 40 seconds to go. It's going to skip half of that before I get to it. And right on time.
Face off, buy a shield, and then buy an insta-health. When the shield inevitably goes down, is
Called it.
really nice what I'm feeling.
I let the turrets have some fun. Unless you're under-leveled, basically all those things do is attempt to annoy you into submission. Kind of like the robot cops from THX 1138. Yeah, this was a good purchase. Let me try something out here. Oh, they both have that terrible reload animation. I mean, terrible reload in general.
There are new bounties available.
Do I have those on
Aim
my
for the
mission
head.
log?
That's where the pudding is.
Yeah, even though I'm reserving Zombie Island for Playthru 2. So on Playthru 2, I'm going to try to avoid going to Zombie Island until I actually intend to do it. Alright, so the shops have changed over, so I go to Underdome. Notice the base damage difference between those two revolvers just because of the barrel type. Wait, what are their elemental ratings? Oh, well. Times 2 on that, and times 1 on that. That has a bearing on it too. But it's an elemental, so the base damage should not be prioritized. Oh!
So make sure your shield is up to par. Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles?
Nope. Sticking with what I've got. These are actually pretty close to evenly matched because it's the magazine and this has a better stock too, so don't look at only the numbers. Slow equip speed, but I can work with it. Sticking with the more accurate Karate revolver. Alright. Back to Tartarus. Skip over Jacob's Cove. Then I'll just go straight down the list. Then go back to Underdome and call it. Apart from slow equip speed, I'd hazard an educated guess that it probably also has slow reload. Because Big Mag. That doesn't bother me. Kind of, yeah, that's manageable. That's fine.
Scans do one thing really well. Power. And honestly, what else do you need? The Crimson Lance got nothing on my weapons. When you got my machines and their scary needles. A sniper without a sniper comm is just a guy with a gun. Find the comm that's right for you.
Since my mercenary class mod has that SMG elemental effect, I should focus on elemental SMGs.
Hello there, good friend.
And if I find another one that has SMG ammo regen, I'll buy that too. Then I'll have two different ones to play around with that are on Playthru 1 are basically just as good as each other. Playthru 2, or more specifically the later parts of Playthru 2 or Playthru 2.5 in general, or the end game of Playthru 1, that's when you really need ammo regen. This SMG has barrel 1, and all of its other parts are
Hey, you seen my
high
gun?
quality.
Combines good damage, high fire rate, and recoil reduction.
There's a worthwhile pounder.
Weapon.
I'm tempted to buy it. Because I said if I found one that was well parted, I'd give it a whirl. So I'm going to do it. Pounder, a type of gun almost everyone hates. Clean my trackball here. Notice the body type is the same as my Stomper. Stomper has barrel 1, body 4, stock something. It's a good stock. It's a 3 or a 4. Topped off with sight 3. Pounder has barrel 5, body 4, stock 1, sight 2. And because it's semi-auto, there's no handicap on fire rate, as there typically is with body 4. I didn't even look at the prefix on it. I just saw a purple pounder with good parts. I thought, well, you know what? I kind of like pounders, not as much as I like stompers or cobras, but I can make it work. Desert pounder. I wonder if it's actually an intense pounder with the desert material type, because I don't know how that works with the nomenclature.
It's a real doctor when you got my machines and they're scary needles.
Perfect commando class mod there. 5-line purple, it's a 650. An absolute perfect one would be 660. But that's good enough to, excellent enough to be classified as perfect.
Walking.
It's good enough if it's 5-line purple. It doesn't have to be 660. It's just, if you want the absolute best, you want 5-line purple 660.
Shooting bullets just not cool enough for you? Get a volleyball and lights up.
And I think I've concluded my shopping spree. My extra shopping spree. Came away with some new toys on top of a new class mod. So next episode will be Crom's Canyon, and maybe some other stuff after that, but at the very least Crom's Canyon.
The SNS philosophy is tech plus
I hate burst fire launchers. Under what circumstances would that ever be useful? See how that craptastic, but never mind the fire rate, since it's semi-auto. Barrel 3, body 1, stock 1, sight 1. Barrel 5, body 4, stock 1, sight 2. And remember, sight 2 is my favorite sight for combat rifles. Dot sight. So what all am I packing here? More than I need. But I don't need this. I'll stash it as a placeholder. I could just sell it, but I like to have acid and fire revolvers and SMGs. So I only need one acid revolver, and I don't know, I guess the one I've got should do well enough. So I've got my 7 slots filled. Everything is level appropriate. And I've got my 4 backup weapons. I've got 2 revolvers, 2 SMGs, 1 shotgun, and 3 combat rifles. More than I need. More stuff than I need, but yeah. Getting better all the time. Catch you on the flip side and see you next mission, slabs.